I'm here in the garden because Grandad loved the garden, and I've got Barney with me because Grandad loved him. He's thrilled to be. My granddad was my soulmate and one of the very best men I've ever known. I'll remember him as a man of many words, always up for a chat. He wore a constant smile and he just loved to laugh. And he was a man I was very proud to call my granddad. I can't read, Barney. He never shied away from lending a hand, even up until the day he was one that needed help. He was an absolute gentleman who completely embraced his scallywag Aussie granddaughter, and he showed me off with pride whenever I visited him. We were two peas for the same pod, and we fed off each other's mischief whenever we were together, finishing each other's sentences and giving each other a cheeky wink whenever no one was looking. Grandad was the kind of man who knew how to hold a room and converse with people from all walks of life, just one of his many talents. Full of wit, cheek and charm, he was the kind of man I could take anywhere to meet anyone, and he would just adapt to his new surroundings. I swear I could take him to an outback pub in Australia, leave him alone for 5 minutes, he'd have made friends with 3 rough-looking locals and have some random guy trying to sell him a dog. And that's just the kind of man he was. He was always under control and he never needed rescuing. Grandad was popular with everyone. He could sneak a smile from the shyest of kids, and he'd have old ladies blushing and hiding their grins. I was so proud of my granddad. I wanted to show him off to the world and let everybody meet him, and those that were lucky enough to fell just as in love with him as I was, which only made me adore him all the more. In the 28 and a half years I was lucky enough to know Grandad, our communication has been able to evolve quite a lot. Originally it lived through letters, and as a small child I remember I would love it when Mum got a few photos printed of me on my pony. I'd go through and pick out the best ones to send to Grandad in the mail, so what a treat it was to visit him years later and find these photos hanging so proudly on his walls. Ripped joddies, oversized jumper, scruffy pony, the works. Our communication evolved, and from the phone calls and letters it progressed to emails, and then technology allowed us the gift of FaceTime, which is amazing. Grandad loved to come out and visit his Aussie grandkids. I think it was a breath of fresh air for him to come and embrace our way of life. Take a ride with my brother in his V8 Holden ute around the dirt roads of the outback, or come and help me feed cattle along the Murray River. His optimistic and collected manner in which he handled things, combined with his keenness for adventure, meant he lived an extraordinary life, and I'll miss it so much to no longer hear any of his stories. One of the things I'll miss the most about my granddad will be his laugh. That loud, one-of-a-kind, audacious cackle he would let off. A laugh that could fill any room with joy. Grandad has always supported me in every endeavour I've taken on. And I'll find it very hard going forward not to grieve for the loss of him. But I'll do my best to find strength knowing how much he loved me. How proud he was of me and I of him. So now, with a skip in my heart and a few tears in my eyes, it's time to say goodbye, Grandad. And I love you so much. You're being very helpful, Barney. Good boy.